Hello, and welcome back to the On the Reel with Andrew podcast, where me and my revolving group of friends discuss any and everything in the world of film and television. I'm your host, Andrew Washington, and with me today is my great friend, Tommy.
Hello.
Hello. Did you know you are the first straight person to ever be featured on this podcast? How do you feel?
Well, I feel like a pioneer, I guess. Yeah.
I'm proud. We were roommates last year, our freshman year, and since then we just kind of, going to movies. He's a fellow film lover, so I wanted to ask him on just to kind of talk and shoot the shit. So, I guess we can get started. What's been good? What have you been watching?
Well, you're not going to mention this is take 2 of our podcast?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't going to initially, but this is take 2. We had a little mishap last time where my headphones were on and the microphone was on the other side of the room, so a full hour of another discussion is now kind of lost to the cloud, but we're here, we're doing it again, and so take 2. But so what have you been watching? What's you pulling up your IMDb?
Well, before I even get into any of that, I just want to say, go vote. It's midterm day.
It is election day.
It's election day. Even if you hear this after voting is closed, well, you should have voted.
You likely will.
Yeah. Why didn't you vote?
If you didn't vote, why didn't you? If you did vote, good on you. You're performing a great service.
Anyway.
Yeah, so a little PSA. Anyway.
What was the question?
What have you been watching?
What's
been good?
Me and you have... I've been watching Atlanta TV show.
Yes, he finally started watching it after I begged him for a year. And damn near.
I'll give credit for putting me onto that, but it's a great show, and I'm glad we can I have someone to talk about it with, because it's a show that demands to be, well, it doesn't demand to be. That sounds corny, but it's a show you can talk about.
Yeah. And I will say I've really been liking this season. I think the last 2 episodes in particular I very much enjoyed. I believe season 4 episodes 8 and 9 are the last 2 for the if you're confused about which ones we're talking about. But episode 8 was this like parody documentary about of course fictional, but the first Black CEO of Disney and how and his quote unquote involvement with like his wanting to make the blackest movie of all time, which is the Goofy movie. It's so fucking funny because like since I was like younger, you always hear is like the Goofy movie's black as shit for no reason. Like it just has a lot, the soundtrack to like some of the plot lines, just like overall it's just a black ass movie. But for them to like go as far as they did with it and develop this whole like, life story and like just the way that they made this fake document, it's so good and so creative, and I just commend the team for coming up with that. I mean, I was dying laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And
but it's not just a comedy.
It's not just a comedy.
It's not just a comedy.
It's not. I know that, Thomas. I mean, episode 9 was not a very comedic episode. Your favorite Paperboy, he was kind of going through the ringer a little bit.
As usual.
But I feel like episode 9 was just so well made. Like, I mean, from the soundtrack, the cinematography, just like.
Well, I mean, the show has always been really tight, visually and sonically, sound-wise.
Yeah. The soundtrack's amazing, by the way. If you're a fan of like Insecure and you know how good that soundtrack was, it's not like the same kind of soundtrack, but it's like in terms of the quality of music, it's up there. It's excellent. One of the songs from the last episode has been kind of playing on repeat in my little rotation, but yeah, no, I mean, this whole season, even last season, which I know a lot of people had like problems with because like half of it like wasn't even about the main like characters, but I still really like season 3 in all of its, you know, eccentricities. You're a season 3 fan, aren't you?
I'm a season 3 boy. Yeah.
Yeah, season. It just
has, you know, I mean, like I don't. There's no bad season. It's just I guess season 3 has my favorite episodes, and those aren't even the, you know, the anthology story ones, or like the unique standalone ones. It's the, you know, all the Europe episodes.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, being a European, I guess.
Yes, we have a fellow Scot. We have a Scotsman here, not fellow. I'm not from Scotland, but
you know, seeing how you know, the European racism meeting, like, you know, American perspectives on racism, and, you know, the comedy and I guess drama that comes out of that is, you know, it's more familiar to me. Not that I'm a European racist, but
yeah,
you know,
of course not.
And Socks.
Socks
is my favorite. Well, he's one of my favorite characters.
Socks, the European who is like their assistant basically while Paperboy's on tour. He has this one scene in one of the episodes from season 3, where he gets really mad and almost says the N-word, like that's the point of the scene, but just the way that scene is written, it's so fucking funny. Donald Glover.
And I was you know, I sometimes have irrational hatred towards certain celebrities. Donald Glover was one of those celebrities for a while. I just did not.
Why?
I didn't like his face. But
his face.
You know, since watching Atlanta and also, you know, kind of getting into his music is.
You weren't a Community guy?
No.
Community is my favorite show. That shit is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the paintball episodes, top tier. You need to check those out. We'll have that discussion another time. But yeah, no, Atlanta, amazing. You're not a big TV like outside of that show, are you much of a TV person?
I'm not someone who watches, you know, the new TV shows. I have my comfort shows, and, you know, I tend to stick by them.
So you don't watch Abbott Elementary?
I think you know that already. I think you know I don't. Not that I wouldn't, but
I know. Watch Abbott Elementary. I feel like I'm just gonna start saying it every time, every episode. I just think it's the perfect show to have such a large fan base. Like I think it deserves it. It's so good, and I just love all the characters so much, and that's my family for real. So tune into that. The Halloween episode was hilarious. I was looking forward to that one. We talked about it on, I think, my episode with Maya, the first episode, and it delivered. It delivered very much so. But yeah. So okay, Atlanta. You any movies?
Movies. Yes. Yes. One movie I watched was House.
Oh, okay.
The Japanese one.
The one with the red cat on the poster.
The red cat on the poster. Great movie. Weird. You know, it's Japanese weird, so.
Yeah, it seems like it's one of those. I have not seen it. I'm not the biggest horror movie person for my listeners that don't know. So getting me to watch a horror movie, as Tommy knows, is much more than a notion. But it doesn't mean I don't keep up with them. But it seems like House is one of those like kind of surrealist,
absurd. You know, I mean, you can use all those words, but I guess at the end of the day, it's just like a satire of horror, but also
satire of horror, like
the
of
genre,
the genre.
yeah, the and no, there were three, and no, there were two. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of.
Okay.
You really have to watch it. The movie doesn't take itself seriously, but it also kind of does. I don't know.
Okay.
It's. I would watch it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it on my watch list.
Lots of funny and creative deaths.
Okay, I mean, it seems like it's either like for me gonna be like a fun watch or like really like scarring.
Scarring. The only thing I don't know. It's scarring insofar as it's just there's always there's so much happening and there's it's like there's these group of Japanese girls just always giggling and that can get kind of jarring really quickly.
That's where the horror comes.
I'm sure there's like a lot being said about Japanese cinema that just went over my head, or like Japanese horror fiction, whatever. But no, I enjoyed it, and I can see why it's like an indie classic. But watch it. Don't watch it.
All right.
Do what you want.
The last like kind of horror movie. I'm saying horror in quotes because it's like it is a horror movie, but I wasn't particularly scared by it. So it's like it's in the horror genre, but was Fresh, the Sebastian Stan, Daisy Edgar Jones cannibal movie. Shout out Normal People also for my Daisy Edgar Jones and Paul Mescal stands. But anyway, Fresh, it's like it's literally, I mean, he's a cannibal, she's not. He's like trying to eat her. But he keeps her alive but doesn't like torture her, but kind of does.
Would you torture her?
No. What? Would I? No.
You kind of looked at me like, it was weird that he wasn't torturing her. Like,
well, I mean, not...
Like, why isn't he?
Not in the sense of, like, I would torture, but, like, in the sense of... the way that the movie progresses, like, you'd think that because he, like, holds her, like, in a room in his basement, like, and doesn't let her leave, but he doesn't torture her.
Spoiler warning.
Oh, well, yeah. It's spoilers all up and through this bitch. I'll give a more official spoiler alert when we start talking about the movies, but no, it's like he keeps her, but like he cooks for her. He like has dinner because he's like kind of in love with her, like enamored with her a little bit. Because the first 40 minutes of the movie before the opening credits even come up is them setting up like the relationship between these two people. Like they only knew each other for like maybe a week, but they seem to like really like each other. But then it turns out that he's crazy, and then they do this thing in the movie. They try and make it seem like she wants in on the cannibal thing, and that's where shit gets a little dicey. I'm not gonna spoil it too much on the ending, but it was crazy. It's kind of crazy. I honestly thought it would have been crazier than it was, but I was not disappointed. It got a lot of hype like earlier in the year. I think it was like a March release. I know it was a Sundance movie, but we finally got around. It was our Halloween watch.
Yeah.
But so that's my horror film. But I'm sure House can't be the only horror movie that you've indulged in.
I want to take this time to talk about a movie which I really love. A horror movie which I really love, which I don't feel gets enough love.
Okay.
And that being T-10.
I have not seen this movie, as you know, but
I haven't watched it recently, but I love that movie. Yeah, it's always in Titan. Yeah, titanium. I think it means in French.
About the girl who fucks a car.
And that's not what it's about. It's a love story. It's an unconventional love story between father and daughter. and everyone should watch it.
Okay, I feel like you're kind of, because I know it has to get crazier than.
Oh yeah, it gets crazy. She does fuck a car, yeah, but like.
So she does fuck a car, like.
Yeah, but she does, but the movie almost makes it seem like that's not a weird thing.
The French.
Yeah, the French.
It's a French movie. It was big-ish in, like, not even big-ish. It was big in, like, festival circles last year, and around award season it kind of came back. But it was kind of one of those movies. It was like, if you knew about it, then you'd see it. I knew about it. I did not see it. Tommy tried to get me to watch it multiple times. We will watch it at some point, but Titan, okay.
Yeah, everyone should see it.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Anything else?
Anything else? Barbarian. Yeah. That new movie, Barbarian.
Yeah, I've heard about this on Twitter.
Yes.
Something about a basement. I know there's an Airbnb involved.
Yeah, I mean, like, more movies are doing this, like, kind of, more horror movies are doing this kind of, how do you incorporate horror into the modern, the modern world we're living in, and that means including things like Airbnb. Men did that. Men was okay.
The A24 movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were just talking about men.
No,
in general.
No. And also, like, social media. How do you incorporate these things into a horror movie? And
does it do it well?
Barbarian, I think, does do it well. It didn't really have to be an Airbnb. It could have been,
anything.
A rental. It could have been anything, but it's not, it's not an Airbnb movie. I feel like it's getting, like, a reputation as, like, Airbnb is, like, somehow central to the plot. It's really not.
Yeah. It's in the log line. I know.
Yeah.
It's the only way that I know it when I read the description of HBO Max.
But, yeah, I don't know. They're emphasizing that point. I think it kind of gives it that, Gen Z, not even Gen Z, but, like, modern edge.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. And, it's not a totally serious movie. It doesn't take itself super serious. So, I don't know. Is there something funny about something really dark going down in an Airbnb? And also speaks to our fears about Airbnbs, because I don't know, you've used Airbnb.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I feel like it's always kind of strange, because it's like you're living in someone else's house, but, like, they're not there, but it's like it still, like, feels like they are. It's kind of weird.
And help me out. Who's the guy that's in? He plays Alvin and Alvin, the gym.
Oh, Justin Long.
Yeah, Justin Long.
I've seen him on Twitter. I think, yeah.
He's great in that movie.
What does he do in that movie? Can you talk about, like, his role in the movie, or is it, like, secret?
I would have to give a spoiler warning.
Okay. Do you want to, or do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about it.
Okay, all right.
His
spoiler warning for Barbarian here.
He is the comedic relief, but he is also the kind of he's an actor that's been accused of rape. And
his character
has been, yeah. Okay. But he plays an actor. He's been accused of rape. And, of course he denies it. And it's playing into that whole, I think Me Too might even be, like, an outdated term now. I don't know. Just kind of people being held accountable in Hollywood, and he's...
Yeah.
So, he's like the kind of... He denies it, but, like, you kind of think he did it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But, so he owns the Airbnb, so he has to, like, mosey on back to it, and that's when things...
Shit starts going down.
I'm not going to say what happens, but he is funny.
I've heard something about a baby in a basement. I've seen memes on Twitter.
He wants
but
me
they
to spoil
all
it.
just
I'm
say,
not going to spoil it.
Okay. I mean, we gave a spoiler warning, so you can if you want to.
You want me to?
I mean, mainly just because I kind of want to know what happens.
Okay, I'll tell you. So, in this Airbnb, there's a basement, and in that basement, there's, like, this woman creature who she wants to make anyone who stays in the Airbnb her baby. She's like this creepy monster lady, who's always naked.
Okay.
And, they give you, like, a backstory to how she was created, and it was just, like, some pervy guy who owned the house, like, in the 60s or something, would go around and kidnap women and, rape them and make all these incest babies, and then the babies would breed. And I don't know. I can't really, it's weird. But,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is, like, everything I just described is only, like, 5 minutes, given 5 minutes of attention in the movie, so it's not really important. I think what's more important is, big scary monster lady wants you to, like, breastfeed.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's not what I thought would have would have been the end, but
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
actually
Barbarian.
Everyone in that movie is great.
All of the performances.
I forget the name of the lead.
I don't know
actress.
who else is in it other than
she is. We're gonna Google it, guys.
Yeah, 1 second. We're letterboxing it, by the way.
Okay. It's all up and comers. I feel like
Bill Skarsgård is in it.
Yeah.
He's an up and comer.
I mean, what's he? Well,
It. He was Pennywise.
He was Pennywise.
He was it in it.
Have you seen it?
I haven't. No.
So don't speak on it because you don't know.
This is the second time that it has come out. I know
anybody could have been. It could have been a CGI clown. No one really cares about the clown, but.
I mean, I know because this is not the first time that it has come up on the podcast. When Amaya was here, she was like, telling me the clown is the least of the, problems. But,
I feel like it's an up and comer,
I feel like more so than the rest of the Skarsgårds, but okay. But I don't know that I'll be tuning into Barbarian anytime soon. But I'm glad to hear that it was good. At least, and that you liked it.
Yeah.
Can I tell you about Tar?
Go, sure.
Last episode, Vivian and I mentioned that we had not yet seen Tar, which is the new film with Cate Blanchett playing the lead character. She's like a composer or a conductor. Does she compose? I don't know. But she's like a conductor who falls under fire for like harassment allegations. But that doesn't even come into play until like an hour into the movie. So it's like more about like her kind of like work life or career, and then how that kind of impacts it and her legacy. It's a very, very interesting character study. It's a 2 hour and 40-minute movie, but it was engrossing for all 2 hours and I think it's 2 hours and 38 minutes to be exact. And I know we shit talked long movies last episode, but it was a long movie and I enjoyed it. I think Cate Blanchett's performance is excellent and amazing. Is it my favorite performance of the year so far from a lead actress? I don't know. I have to reevaluate. I feel like I have to watch Everything Ever All at Once again.
I think you've seen that movie enough.
You
should know by now. You should know by now how you feel about that movie.
I've seen it 9 times. I know I've seen it a lot, but
he doesn't like long movies.
That movie's not it. Well, okay,
that movie's long.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, and it is. And actually, no, I wouldn't even say it's perfect. I do think it's a little too long. Like when we first saw it, I did think it was a little bit too long. And I still maintain that it probably doesn't need to be. I think, actually, to be exact, it's 2 hours and 19 minutes. But that movie, I just think it is one of the most creative and unique things I've ever put in front of my face. And it just struck me in a way that not many films have. I've never seen anything in theaters more than like 3 times. So to go, because I think it was 7 times in theaters, and then I've seen it twice, like on my own.
Well, yeah, it's a movie you want to show people.
Yeah, I took different people like every time that I went to the theater to see it. I was like, y'all have to see this movie. Like it is, oh my God. But yeah, shout out Everything Everywhere All at Once. Kind of didn't forget about it, but it wasn't at the front of my mind, and now it is, and I'm glad it is. But yeah, so that Tar was excellent. I want to give a quick shout out to Young Royals. One of my favorite shows on Netflix currently. Season 2, little bit of a letdown, but still 8 with still T. I was kind of gagged at the end. If you don't know, it's a Swedish show. I think, yeah, it's Swedish. And it's basically about like this Swedish prince like gets sent to this like private school, and falls in love with like one of the choir boys. It's kind of like, not, what's the word? Not corny, but like cheesy. Is that the word?
Cheesy.
Yeah, it's I feel like
cheesy is just like the European corny. I feel like I didn't really know people use cheesy here. Do they use cheesy here?
Yeah, people use cheesy here.
Well, I think cheesy, corny.
Either way, it's a little, it's just a cute show.
Sounds a little fruity to me.
It is gay as fuck. So if you don't like gay people, you should probably stop listening to this. But you probably wouldn't like that show. But I mean, even if gay shows aren't your thing, it's still just a great show. And I mean, season two had a different purpose to serve than season 1. And I feel like it achieved it. I still enjoyed my time watching season 2. I just think that it could have spent its time, because it's only 6 episodes. And it's like they have a lot to kind of develop and get through. I feel like they could have spent their time better with as little time as they did have. But I feel like ultimately I was still satisfied with what I got. But yeah, so tune into Young Royals if you don't watch Young Royals. And the last thing I want to shout out before we get into the main discussion is a little boy named Pinocchio. Guillermo del Toro of Shape of Water and Pan's Labyrinth and Pacific Rim fame. Hellboy. 1 and 2.
And did you know that he was like kidnapped once?
No. What?
Yeah.
Where did you hear that? No.
He was kidnapped and rescued by, I think it was Sean Penn or someone weird.
Sean Penn. I feel like that tracks. That seems like something Sean Penn would do.
Search Guillermo del Toro kidnapping.
Oh, what? Or did you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, okay. I feel like I can't not talk about a movie we both saw together.
Okay. Is this the 4-hour one that I
The 4-hour
mentioned?
movie, which we watched in 2 parts.
We had to literally split it over 2 nights because there's no way in hell we're doing all this in one.
Yeah. A Brighter Summer's Day.
A Brighter Summer's Day, yeah.
The name of it. And I actually only realized yesterday that was a lyric from an Elvis song.
Yeah.
And actually, weirdly, in that Elvis song, which I think is called, hold on, it's called "Are You Lonesome Tonight?" I think a lot of the movie is not, it's not based on the song, but there's, it shares imagery with the song, and I love Edward Yang. I love Edward Yang, and
he's a great director. I do have to say,
he's a great director.
Storyteller.
And it's very different to the storytelling of the West. I feel like, and we've seen this in other movies, other Asian movies. I don't want to say Asian movies, but, I think there's a different sensibility out there about, how a story is told. And it's not necessarily rushing to the end, or there's no beginning. I don't know. It was a beautiful movie.
Yeah, it's
sad.
It was sad. Oh my god, the last like hour, 45 minutes, whatever. That shit caught me off guard. I was like, and I think it's based on a true story.
Based on a true story. It was like based on the first murder of.
The first like
child murder,
juvenile homicide.
If
Yeah.
Long. 4 hours long.
Yeah. Long movie. Split the so long the Criterion DVD, which is how we were able to watch it, is the movie's split onto 2 discs. So it's like at a like halfway through the movie it says please insert disc 2.
Yeah. Also, there's the best scene in the movie is this scene where they have this like really super young kid just like singing.
That little kid singer, I loved him. Gave me life.
Yeah.
It was so, I don't know, I think it was just his voice did not match like what he looked like at all.
Yeah.
And it was just I just thought it was so funny, but it was still like love him. Do you want to get to these movies?
Ready when you are.
All right, so we have a bit of a double feature, if you will, planned for y'all today. We'll discuss 2 movies. Our first, and before I even start that, let me just say we will be discussing spoilers. Any part of the movie for us is up for discussion, is able to be discussed. So if you care about spoilers, then sorry. If you don't, then stick around and stay tuned. Our first film is a little movie called Wendell Wild. It's the new film from Henry Selick, the kind of legendary stop motion director of Coraline, The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach. He's only done those 3 movies and one other movie, which I don't remember what it's called, but I know it's live action. But this is his first film since Coraline from 2009. He co-produced and co-wrote this with Jordan Peele, who needs no introduction, at least for our time and place now, and stars Key and Peele, the comedy duo, as 2 scheming demon brothers. The titular Wendell and Wild. They have a dream of opening an amusement park, and they enlist the aid of 13-year-old Kat Elliott to summon them to the land of the living. And at the same time, Kat has to deal with the loss of her parents, being the new girl at school, and an evil couple with sinister plans for the town. I think I expected this movie to be like Coraline 2, or Coraline 2 in the sense of like, as good as Coraline. I think that's...
And I think, I think that's where the movie fails, because, it's not... I don't know that we'll ever see another Coraline.
Because Coraline is a favorite of yours, right?
Coraline is one of my favorites. I think, even if it wasn't a favorite, I would recognize just... it's such a simple story, but also just so well told and so well animated, because, animation is so intrinsic to Selick. Mm-hmm. And his movies. And he has such a charming animation style.
Yeah.
It's also scary.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not too scary, you know what I mean?
Right. I will say Coraline did disturb me, like, hella when
that
I was
doesn't
younger.
surprise me.
It was not something that I like. It is a good movie. Like I can say now that it is, but when I was younger, it was not something that I particularly enjoyed watching.
Yeah. I love it though. It kind of. I don't know. I love things that kind of explore like alternate, dreamy realities, and something sinister is always like lurking beneath the surface. But this movie was not subtle. Wendell Wild, that is. It wasn't subtle. It was doing too much.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell from Andrew's introduction.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of moving parts to it. And I think that's my biggest issue with the movie. It feels overstuffed. And at the same time it because of that it feels rushed, and it's like there's too much shit that goes on, but it's like they don't give all of the shit that they put in it enough time. I don't think they give any of it enough time, so it feels rushed and overstuffed at the same time, which I feel like is not a good thing. There's like, because there's the main thing with Wendell Wild, and they're coming to the surface, and their relationship with Kat, and I feel like that's where most of the movie relies, which is good. But then where it lost me, like, was in the shit with the evil couple, with the Claxons and the prison stuff, because it's like the evil couple with the sinister plans. Their sinister plan is they want to like buy the land that the school is on, the school that Kat is sent to, and they want to like tear down the school, or no, they don't want to tear down the school. They want to keep the school built up for a specific reason, but they want to tear down like the rest of the town, because the town kind of went to shit after Kat's parents died, and the brewery which Kat's dad ran like went under. But they want to like buy out the rest of the town and build a private prison, and they want to keep the school so that they can like have so that they can, the kids from the school go to jail, and so that they earn money off of it. It's a full like commentary on the prison system in America, but it's like I don't know that this was the movie for that.
Yeah, I don't think it was. And, I think to any kid watching this movie, it's going to be really confusing.
Yeah. I think, was it? I wouldn't say that this movie is, like, marketed to kids. It wasn't marketed at all, first off. That's another issue. This movie, Netflix put no money into the marketing for this movie. There's, like, a few billboards around, but it's, like, I feel like if I wasn't, like, as invested in like movies that are coming out, or just like if I wasn't like on top of the film world, I probably wouldn't have heard about the movie until I like saw it scrolling on Netflix. Like there was no like word of mouth about it, and I feel it's like outside of like my issues with the movie, I still feel like it's something to note that a stop motion film where the main character is a black girl and is like in the film is made by, even though Henry Selick is white, but Jordan Peele is not. Or, well, he's half, but and just for like kind of what the movie might represent to like a large section of the of society, I feel like they could have put more effort into promoting it. That's another issue that I have with it.
I mean, I don't know. It was probably Jordan Peele was the one funding this thing.
Peele, he definitely put the money behind it. Yeah.
Did I say Peele?
You did say Peele. You Warriors fan?
The Warriors, yeah. Wow. Two Jordans I love.
Every time I see Jordan Poole trending on Twitter, I always have to like do a double take because I'm like, what? But then I just I'm like, why is Jordan Peele trending like every week?
Why is Jordan Poole trending every week? Who knows? That's your algorithm, bro. You have a Jordan Poole
It's
thing?
not even my it's literally the trending tab.
Yeah.
We got the same one.
Okay.
It's Twitter.
What were we talking about?
Wendell Wild.
I know what we were talking about within that. Oh, the funding,
Jordan,
yeah. So, you know, I feel like Henry Selick had some script. You know, he had some Wendell and Wild script.
Yeah.
Probably for a while, and then he needs some money for it. So Jordan Peele comes along, and then I think certain changes were made to the script.
Yeah, there's certainly a version of this movie that exists without Jordan Peele. Because it's like, there's no way... Coraline, how old is Coraline? 13 years? It's been 13 years since Coraline?
Yeah.
There's no way... Because Jordan Peele didn't get to... Like, Monkey Paw and all that didn't become a thing until after Get Out, and that was in 2017. So there's no way Henry Selick wasn't doing shit from 2009 to 2017. And then, like, you know... This was a joint. I feel like it was definitely Selick first, and then Peele came and added in some shit. I mean, it's his presence is not something that I don't think it's anything that hurts the movie. I mean, I think it gives it a different.
It doesn't hurt the movie, but I feel like there was just too many concessions being made by both sides.
Yeah,
and you just get this.
It feels like a movie that's made by two different people. Like it doesn't feel like something that's like a like they did it together. It feels like it feels like something that was done by, because it's like you can tell like the parts that Peele is like in charge of and the parts that Selick probably was more in charge of, you know. So it's like there's. But I mean, you know, I feel like that's how it is with most movies that have multiple people behind it or responsible for it. But I think it's gorgeous, though. I think it looks amazing. Very visually creative and interesting.
I would agree with that. I love the snowy golf course.
Oh, with the klaxons and the principal were on.
Yeah. And, you know...
Which also, shout out James Hong. He voiced the principal in this movie. That motherfucker, he's in everything. He was in Everything Ever All at Once. Also, he played the grandfather.
He was in Kung Fu Panda.
Or technically the father. He was in Kung Fu Panda.
He's in every, like, Asian American movie.
He's in everything. And he just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I remember, because I saw Jamie Lee Curtis did the speech.
Or even if you just need an Asian character.
Yeah, he's in everything, but I love him though. So I mean, I can't complain.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think overall, I just wish the movie had more
focus,
and also more like. More energy. Not that it was boring, but I just feel like there were never like many like bursts of energy or like jolts of, you know. There's nothing that like, you know, got me out of my seat really. Like I mean the big like fight at the end didn't like, you know, move me at all. It was like I was like, I understand what's happening for the story, but it was, you know, I feel like I watched the movie, and then at the end of it, I was like, it was good. But it was like, you know, I felt like I was just watching it. Like, you know, it wasn't anything more than that. You know?
Yeah, and part of me was like another movie about grief. Are we doing this again? Like,
there are a few.
Come on.
There's a good amount.
But you know, I get how that was central to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I feel like that part of the story was good. Like I think the movie's strongest when it's like, you know, Kat and her parents, like the shit with Kat and her parents. I feel like that element of the story is probably the strongest for me. That or like Kat's relationship with Wendell Wild. But I mean, all of the other like outside shit, I feel like if they like you said, more focused, if they narrowed down the story to, you know, Kat and Wendell and Wild and her parents, and Wendell and Wild have, you know, more like secret motives under it, you know, because they're demons, they can't be trusted.
Yeah.
But I feel like that movie is a you know is a good movie. This movie is still good, but it needs the script needs a trim. And yeah, it felt like a Netflix movie, and it is a Netflix movie, but it's like, you know, Netflix movies have a certain feel to it, and it's like felt like a on the better end of a Netflix movie, but it felt like a Netflix movie to me.
Yeah, I mean, that actually makes me wonder, like, how much creative control Netflix had.
That is also true.
You know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Not me.
We don't. What are you rating Wendell Wild? What's your?
I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same. I would sit it at a 6 or a 7, probably closer to a 7. Or for my Letterboxd users, 3.5. Yeah, I think it was good, but I feel like it could have been better than it was.
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Okay, so our next movie is Decision to Leave. Is a new film from Park Chan-Wook, kind of a icon, legend, South Korean director. You might know if you've heard of Old Boy or his more recent film, The Handmaiden, which is crazy as hell, by the way. But this film, Decision to Leave, is about a detective who investigates a man's death in the he like dies on a mountain. But he meets through this investigation and ends up developing feelings for and falling in love with this dead man's wife. And she kind of starts to involve herself in the investigation, and it's, you know, this kind of, the movie is like really about the two of them, ultimately. But did you have any like prior expectations about this movie? Because I really didn't. Like I didn't know what the movie was about. All I knew was the names attached to it, and like that it won one of the awards at Cannes. But
yeah, I mean, just, you know, by virtue of all those things, I expected it to be good. The fact that they're playing it in American cinemas, you know, it has to, you know, they're not going to just play any old South Korean movie in our movie theaters, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's not much from South Korea that makes it through, but I guess the stuff that does is the stuff that the white people like. But I like this movie too, so I mean, I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I just expected it to be good. I love, but I'm still exploring South Korean crime movies. And
you're a Memories of Murder fan?
I'm a Memories of Murder fan. I
haven't seen it yet.
I know, yeah. It's there were a lot of similarities between that movie and this one. More in the kind of tropey detective elements of the story. Okay. You know, there's I think something these South Korean movies do well is the way they implement comedy into the into the script, and I
would agree.
Yeah. You know, you see it in Parasite.
Of course.
You see it in The Wailing. Which is, you know, it's another police detective movie. It's a movie I love. You know, my mind's blanking on me, but there are other movies where, you know, it's just like, you have this crazy story going on, and they still find moments to.
I feel like they balance tone very well, and
it did balance
and
tone.
a lot of South Korean films they can toe a line,
Yes,
in ways that a lot of cinema from other cultures can't. This movie, I feel like, does that well. I mean, I don't think anything about like the tone of the movie or like anything like that was anything that I had wrong with. There wasn't much that I had wrong with this movie. I really like this.
You know, I really liked it too. I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with it.
I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong either. I definitely have notes, but I don't think there's much. I don't think there's a ton.
I mean, on a technical level, it's, you know, flawless. In terms of performances, flawless.
Yeah.
But one thing that bothered me was the amount of product placement. There is an insane amount of product placement in this movie.
It's great because that is one thing that's different about the two. I didn't even notice it, truthfully. I mean, because I think it's just something that I've just expected to see in anything. So I don't even like...
that should not be normal. We should not be expecting to see brands.
But I don't think... It doesn't change the story at all.
It doesn't change it. It just feels, it's like, okay, am I watching this or being advertised to? But
that's what it feels like watching Space Jam 2. If you haven't seen Space Jam 2.
Yeah, but that movie's more shameless about it.
Which is great. That movie feels like a 2-hour long ad. That movie's too long. But that feels like an ad for HBO Max watching that movie. We don't have to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like I said, I didn't really notice product placement. The main issue I had with the movie was the pacing of it. I feel like it was kind of long. All right, I wouldn't even say that I'd describe it as long. I just feel like it dragged in parts. I feel like the first because the movie's in two parts basically. It's not like part 1 and part 2, but it's effectively in two parts. There's about like a year between. There's like a time jump of about, I think it's like 13 months or something. But once the time jumps, it started to lose me. I think the first, it's about half of the movie, probably a little bit over half, the first part. The first part of the movie I felt was like really well done. I think it did well with balancing the detective like plot line and the romance plot line, even though the movie's ultimately more about the romance of it all between the detective and the dead man's wife. But I think the first part does a better job of, because it shows more like, how she is able to kind of weasel her way like into investigating whether or not her husband was killed or committed suicide, and she's like involved with like gathering evidence, and she burns evidence, which is like, at that point I was like, that you did it, like it's not, like of course you did. That's another. I'm gonna talk more about that in a second.
I don't know. I don't think there's any doubt as to whether or not she killed her husband. I think the doubt or the conflict is whether or not he can accept that she did that, in spite of his job, which is a police officer, and in spite of, can love survive murder, I guess. What causes the decision to leave? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I think that is certainly what the film is more interested in. But I do think ultimately, because it's like it kind of sets, I feel like it sets up like the reveal. I'm saying reveal in quotes because it's something that you can tell from like the jump. It sets up the reveal of her having killed both husbands. There's the in the time that she has another husband that she kills. Why did she kill the second husband? Was it to get closer to the detective?
No, he was a bad guy. I can't remember what he did, but he was like, he was stealing money and died. I don't know.
Yeah. But it sets up the reveal of her being the murderer as like it's a reveal, but I'm like, it's so obvious because of how the film is structured. It's like, I feel like it kind of takes away from at least that like part of the story, like the detective part of it, which is like probably 40% of the movie. The other 60 is the relationship between him and this woman. Probably even 70-30, truthfully.
Yeah.
But it's just like for this chunk of the movie that's so like integral to the story, for it to like be as predictable as it was, I just feel like it kind of took away from it ultimately for me. Because I love a good detective story. Like, one thing about me, have you seen Mayor of Easttown?
Yes.
Love that show. Right? Like, I will eat up a detective story. And it's like, but if, because I had something about the mystery of, like, there's all these people and they all have their possible motives and, like, everything. And it's like, this movie, they don't even have, like, other potential options for who could have killed him. Like, it's like either she killed him or he killed himself. And they go with the story of he killed himself, obviously, because she, like, convinced them that she wasn't involved. But it's like, he had to have known. Like there's no way he genuinely thought that she was, like, completely absolved of any. Because it's like I knew. Like it was so obvious to me. There's no way it wasn't obvious to him. Like, it's his job, But I guess. Like,
well, I mean, there's a point where it becomes obvious. I don't think it was obvious to him, because when it does become obvious to him, when he finds the phone and he sees, he finds this hidden phone that shows that she had made this 200-foot ascension or whatever on the day that the husband died. Like, once he realized that's when all this internal conflict was brought up, and he, makes a decision to leave.
You said decision to leave twice now. I'm gonna start a counter.
Which, part of me was like, like, stop being a cop. Just, like, who cares? Go get her. But
I mean, yeah, but I just think that it, because of how integral the detective part of the story was, I just feel like that part of it kind of fell a little flat for me. But on the same token, though, because the detective part is not the main focus of the story, it's not something that, like, derails the entire movie. Like, it didn't take me out of, like, the whole thing. I think the romance part of the story, like, that kind of between the two of them, is done very well. I mean, I don't even know how to say it any other way. They did it well. I mean,
they did kiss. They did have a kiss. I couldn't remember.
They kissed. They did. When did they kiss?
They kissed on the mountain when it was snowing. There's this great shot where she's holding the flashlight on her face, so it just looks like a light.
Cinematography is gorgeous. Yeah. Also, just have to say, the technically, like you said, kind of flawed. The editing, oh my god, I thought this movie was edited so well. It reminded me of like, have you seen The Father?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how that movie's kind of put together. Have you seen The Father?
No.
Well, for when you do watch The Father, because you should, it's excellent. The editing styles I feel like are very similar because they play a lot with like, you know, they utilize the space very well and in unique ways, you know. How it's like they'll push through and like they're in the same room, but it's like, you know, 30 years ago or whatever. Not 30 years ago, but you know, it's like a time jump or like you know, it's interesting. I mean, The Father and this two very different movies. But there were certain flourishes that I noticed. I was like, it reminded me of that. Shout out The Father.
I have a question for you about this movie.
Okay.
How did you feel about the way they used iPhones?
Because I know there was the point, because like the old lady, like one of the old ladies that the woman like is a caretaker for, she asked Siri to do a bunch of stuff. But not even a bunch of stuff. She's asked her to play this one song, but she asked her to do it like 4 or 5 times in the movie. I
mean, like, you know, she's always you know what I mean? That, you know, the way they use phones, like, she's always translating stuff and they're texting, and it's like, I'm not really asking, like, you know, I feel like we don't often see the use of iPhones specifically in movies and, like, you know, what they can do, and that to me was kind of a new thing.
Apple I know keeps a tight leash on like using their products in their movies. Like I know they have this infamous rule is like, you know, if it's a like villain character, they can't use an iPhone. So it's like a lot, like people would like make jokes. They'd be like, if he has an Android, he's probably the murderer, you know? Yeah. So it's like, I know some of that comes from Apple is like why, you know, and also Apple is expensive to use. But I mean, I feel like I only noticed like it in the, you know, use of Siri. But outside of that, I mean, did you have any? I mean, like you said,
I mean, it's like we were talking about earlier. Like, you know, they're using Airbnb in a movie. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, the world is changing, and we do use iPhones every day, all the time. And, you know, here's a film that kind of finally accepts that reality. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, if you told me that, like, I would be really skeptical about whether a film would be able to actually, you know, implement modern phone technology in a way that wasn't like, didn't take me out of the movie. Mm-hmm. So
because sometimes I will say I know what you mean by that. Sometimes when movies try to incorporate like technology or like modernity in like,
you know, it's almost volatile because like, these things are updating so frequently, mm-hmm. or, you know, the technology is changing all the time. So it's like, how is this movie gonna look in 30 years?
Was that a real question or rhetorical?
It was a real question.
I mean, I don't know that this movie is as wrapped up in like the time of now.
No, I don't think it's wrapped up. I think it actually does it really well. It just accepts reality. There are iPhones, and they do provide certain helpful functions. You know, whether it's GPS or Siri, or, you know, the fitness app that tells you how many flights of stairs you climbed or whatever. But
yeah. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know that this movie is as concerned with that to the point of like it feeling to the point of where it'll feel like a time capsule in 30 years. Because you know how some movies it's like you watch and it's like it feels like, you know, it feels like a time, like it feels like you're watching like an old movie. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that. I feel like this film kind of escapes that.
Yeah, I think he took a risk, and I think Park Chan-Wook, that is. I think he took a risk, and I think it paid off. I don't think it's going to be, you know, detrimental to how people view the film, but, you know, I'm always skeptical of how technology is portrayed in movies. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Well, let's talk about the ending.
You want to talk about the ending?
I do want to talk about it. And I'm not talking about, like, the last 20, half hour. I'm talking about, like, the beach scene.
I'm trying to remember it in my head. Can you give me us and them a little, like, recap? Or just,
yeah,
like,
okay.
You know.
So, you know, the Black Widow character drives to this beach. And
the Black Widow being, like, the wife, who I feel like,
Yeah. She drives to this beach, and she makes a call, and I think we kind of, at least I did, I kind of like, okay, she's going to commit suicide. You know, you just get that, you get that really ominous feeling. I think she switches off her phone or leaves it in the car or something, and she just goes and sits by the waves, and it's like, yeah, she's going to commit suicide here. And then you have the detective, you see her digging a hole, and it's like, by that point, it's obvious she is going to kill herself. And then it switches to the detective, like, frantically looking for her, shouting her name.
Now I remember. Okay,
yes.
yeah, okay.
And we know what's happened. He doesn't. I think that would be my choice. What about you?
I don't know.
You're going to say Four Loko or something I can see in your eyes.
No,
Really.
never. Four Loko. Yeah. Something strong, like an adios motherfucker. I feel that's perfect. It's very on the nose, but I feel like it's perfect. An AMF, because it's like just because of how strong it is, and you know it being like, you know, see ya.
See, you want something strong, don't you? Because, like, you know.
Yeah, if you had to go out with a drink, you know, I wouldn't choose a beer, because beer is disgusting to me. So I mean. Was there anything in particular
you can't cut this part out. This is like the best content so far, but
is there anything in particular about the ending that like struck you outside of just the visual aspect of it? Was it like
I think there's a point where he keeps calling her, and then he's like, I think he kind of knows it in his head. She's gone, and I think there's even a scene where he's standing over where she had dug the hole, and there's just a tiny little mound. I think that was one of the final shots. So,
I mean, some of the images in the movie, I just feel like all the shots up on the mountain, that was such a like. Who would climb up there? like why would he climb up? The summit of this mountain is like. Not even, how big is it? Probably it's like it's round, and it has a diameter of maybe 10 feet. Like it's such a small, like, and it's against like nothing. There's like a single tree, but there's nothing surrounding it. It's like this really like isolated, like, you know, I don't know. It's pretty though. I mean, I feel like. I feel like it seems like a place that someone would commit suicide. I mean,
yeah,
but I don't know. What are you rating the movie? Let's.
What am I rating the movie?
Because I feel like I would give it an 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5.
I think I gave it an 8, but I don't know, 7.5.
Okay. Why the half? It's definitely a 7, not quite an 8.
What do you mean? Like it could...
Because you're obviously 7.5 is in between 7 and 8, but it's like it's not quite 8 territory.
Not quite 8 territory.
But it's definitely a 7.
Yeah, I think just because the way I rate movies is not really based on, you know, how well the performances were, or how good the performances were, how you know, how nice the cinematography was. It's more kind of what is my visceral reaction to this movie, and I'm feeling a 7.5.
Okay.
I can't give it an 8.
Okay, fair. I feel
that may change though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. I feel like, we've been talking for a minute. We can kind of wrap it up a little bit. Very quickly, is there anything that you would like to recommend to our audience?
Just talking about this movie, you know, I can't stop thinking about The Wailing, so everybody go watch The Wailing. Fantastic movie.
What?
Scary movie.
Can you give a little mini, like, you know,
okay,
30-second review?
You know, it's like 30 seconds. Okay, so there's all these random murders happening in this tiny countryside Korean town, and all the murders are just, you know, it's like family members killing family members, and the murderers always turn into these weird zombies. I don't know. You really just have to watch it.
Okay. Yeah. That does
but
not
it's a detective
sound like
story.
Something that
you wouldn't like
I
it.
would watch.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
It's really scary.
Yeah, I might stay away from that. But if that sounds like y'all's jam, check it out. Let me recommend something. Honestly, I'd you know, go back to what we were talking about earlier. Tar. if you like movies that are about people, about flawed people, and that just kind of go into the psyche of why artists are the way they are, then watch Tar. Yeah, I can't say much more than that. The if there's gonna be anything that wins Cate Blanchett an Oscar, it's gonna be the Juilliard scene. It's not even a scene that's like traditional, or like it's like traditionally what you'd think of, like, you know, oh, this is a scene, this is like gonna get her the Oscar. But it's a long scene. She's teaching a class and she's talking about what it means to perform someone else's work and everything that entails. And just the way that scene is written, the way that she delivers all of it, it is just perfect. I was like so mesmerized. But yeah, so I would recommend Tar. It is currently in theaters. Is there anywhere that, you know, people can find The Wailing, or they just have to find it somewhere?
I think it's on YouTube for like $3.
Okay.
Or you can just pirate it.
Soaptoday.com. We do not condone pirating on the Real with Andrew podcast. But it is available to watch in places. And
yeah, no, you should definitely just rent the movie, because we need more South Korean movies.
We do.
We need more money going towards them so they can make whatever they want to make. And yeah,
and we need to start like distributing them over here, because they get made, we just don't see them.
Yeah, because
the people that are in charge of what we see here don't give a fuck about South Korean movies that much, you know, unless they're directed by Bong Joon-ho or Park Chan-Wook.
I also blame the Oscars for that. So Yeah.
Fair. Fair. And lastly, is there anything you're looking forward to seeing in the coming weeks, months? Whatever?
Yes, After Sun.
After Sun, yeah. A movie that has already been released, but is still very much in the topic of conversation and still very much in theaters currently. Again, shout out Normal People for my Paul Mescal fans. I have not seen After Sun. I've heard amazing things. I am looking forward to seeing that one as well. For me, honestly, I'm excited to see The Fabelmans. I think we mentioned it last week when I was talking with Vivian, but it's more immediate in my head because I am seeing it soon. I think tomorrow is when my screening is for it, and I am excited for that. I obviously, love Spielberg. I think what he did with his West Side Story remake was amazing. I was not a West Side Story fan. And then I saw the one from last year, and I made the jump. I made the switch. But yeah, so oh shit. Follow me on Twitter. My Twitter for this podcast is at the OTR Andrew Pod. You can also follow me on Instagram at OTR with Andrew. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Stay tuned and keep in touch. You want to say any parting words?
No.
Okay, bye.